supposed to cool off a little bit. This thing is supposed to be all right.
So we're at Moe's Barbecue, downtown Starkville, Moe's throughout the Southeast. And so appreciate you guys going. This is like trip number 3 for me on the assistant coach bandwagon. And so I'm looking forward to you guys being a little bit better than Mason Miller on this deal. Then
We should be able
Should be hard to do, or
we always make fun of Mason.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
Everybody makes fun of Mason. I guess, one of the things about what we're doing is just kind of peeling the curtain back, let everybody know about what you guys do, kind of away from the field. And Eric, I guess, we'll start with you. I mean, you're a guy from New Jersey. So how did you end up with Mike Leach?
it's a long story.
We got time, man.
Yeah.
By the way, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a blend of everything.
I have
Pretty good flavor.
never seen anybody walk up to a drink machine and tap on everything.
It's gonna go with the suicide. Yeah.
Pretty good. It's a good mix. You never get the same drink.
No, exactly.
Pretty tasty.
I promise you, I'm gonna do that the next time I go. That's
There's some
awesome.
value in that. It's pretty good.
So how'd you end up with Coach Leach?
Yeah, no, he was out of coaching at the time. I found his P.O. box address in Key West. Wrote him a letter, pretty off the cuff, but basically, BS, you're out of coaching, and when you get back in, I'd love to work with you, and come on down here to Wingate, North Carolina, where I was at, and talk some football. And I don't know, forgot about it. A couple months later, got a phone call from him. So the message was something like this: "Hey, Eric, Mike Leach." Boop. That was the voicemail. So I didn't know quite what that meant. And then I called him back, and he said, "If you're in Florida, let me know." Hopped a plane to Florida the next week, and did a little island tour. Started about 8 o'clock at night, went to about 5 in the morning.
So evidently there's a place down there that has a bar stool that has Mike Leach written on it. Did you just wander around Key West and find that bar stool and say, okay, I'm going to sit down right here, and I know he's going to show up sooner or later?
That was stop number 2 in the tour, actually. He took me right there to see it right away. So, yeah, that's a cool place, Captain Tony's saloon there. We did that. He invited me back down that summer with some other coaches, and we did kind of a mock clinic for the Key West High School where we were there. Toured Jimmy Buffett's studio, fishing trip, kind of like the Hangover movie, for adult coaches. And then, he got the job at Washington State at the time, and I hit him up. Didn't get an answer, so I kind of flew out there unannounced when he had his press conference, and shot him a text message the next morning and said, "Hey, I'm in town, love to talk about any open positions." He flew in, flew out, was back in Key West, so now I'm in trouble. I'm spending my spring break or my winter break in Pullman, Washington, in the Quality Inn there, which is a lovely establishment. But
Overlooking the wheat fields?
yeah, exactly. Didn't have a lot of money at the time. I had 3 kids, so I called my wife. I'm like, I got to figure this out, and I'm gonna have to call my dad or my brother to get a loan to fly back to Florida. So I text Leach back, "Hey, I'll meet you in Florida this weekend." So then I think he knew he wasn't going to shake me. Invited me back down again. I went down and hung out for about 2 days. Didn't really talk too much about anything. I'm just introduced myself to coaches and sit in staff meetings. And then I got a red eye out the next morning about 11 o'clock at night. He said, "Hey, you want the job?" I don't have any details or particulars, or gives me the money. The money's about half as much what I was making at the time. And I said, "Yeah, I want the job." So shake his hand, call my wife, and say, "We've got to sell the house, one of our cars, and all the furniture. We're going to go across country." Yeah, so that was it. Rest is history. Yeah.
How about you, Steve? How'd you end up with Coach?
My story's a little different than Eric's. Neat story though. I was coaching at Oklahoma in 1999. It was my first job. Bob Stoops was defense coordinator at Florida. Gets the Oklahoma job. And true story, when Bob hired Mike said, "I have an O-line coach and I have a receiver coach I'm bringing with me." And Bob Stoops said, "Yeah, no, you're not. I got an O-line coach and a receiver coach. They're coming with me. And when you get a head coaching job, I'm going to keep those guys. You're not taking them with me." So I remember when I first met Leach, he kind of looked at me funny, like, "How did I get stuck with this guy?" This is, but that's how I met him. He was there 1 year, head coach at Texas Tech, and the next year I've kind of kept up with him ever since. And he had an opening at Washington State, so I got out there for those 2 years. And that year with Gardner Minshew, we won 11, was a remarkable year, and happy to be back in the South.
So both of you guys, I have 4 kids, and so I understand what it's like. And people always look at me and say, "Hey, how do you do it?" And I'm like, "Hey, once you get past 2, it's zone defense." And so you've got a big family. Eric, you've got a nice sized family as well. How's the juggles of being an assistant coach and being the father of a big family?
Yeah, we got good wives. That's the first thing. I got 4 girls at home. Steve's got Steve's got an army of 7, you know, so he's got his hands full. But they love hanging out with the football team, interacting with our guys, and they're all into, you know, being Bulldogs, and they got the cowbells, and it's fun for them. You know, it's fun for them to go to bowl games and do all that.
So you got 4 kids, you said?
I've got 4. Yeah, 2 girls, 2 boys.
You see, my story is I opened up with triplets, so I went straight to zone.
Oh my goodness. Woo. So you don't
never had any one-on-one.
You never had the man.
And he almost hit for the cycle bar. You heard that before, right?
No.
Triple, single, double, single.
I have triples, I have twins and triplets, and 2 singles. It's hard to do.
That is hard to do.
But when we actually opened up with triplets, it was actually pretty easy. They slept in the same room.
Yeah.
They read the same books, played the same toys, drank the same amount of milk, ate the same amount of food. We put them in bed awake every night. We came in the morning every day, and they were all awake.
Did you wake them all at the same time to feed them?
They were all up.
we figured that one quick with, like, one woke up and we're going to feed that one, wait for the other one to wake up to feed that one. They're like, wait, about 3 days into it, we're both walking around like zombies.
No. Exact same schedule.
You wake them both up at the same time.
Eric, I guess what's the role of a running back in the air raid offense? Is the air raid anything close to what you grew up with or used to at all?
You know, it's unique offensive, but for the running backs, especially nowadays, NFL is transitioning to looking for those every down guys. You know, they can play all 3 downs, catch the ball, run the ball, pass, protect. So I always say it's not just about rushes, it's about touches. So our guys touch the ball more than anybody. Steve and I always joke around about, too, who the leading receiver is going to be every year. And for the last 3 years, it's been the running back. You know, so it's a thing where you get the ball in space to these guys, let them showcase their skills and make people miss, and it's exciting for them. You know, they're not always running into a phone booth with 20 guys in there, trying to see who the toughest guy is. So,
from a wide receiver standpoint, Coach Leach has talked about how easy this offense is. But from a wide receiver standpoint, what's your motto? Trying to teach guys, is it all about finding space? Is it all about, you know, the third step and take a jab step in? And I mean, how much is it about footing, or is it just get open?
It's simple. It's not complex in the number of plays, but what we do and how we do it it requires a lot of practice, and that's one reason we're really excited about this year. You know, last year to miss the spring, really miss the summer, it was a hard year, and what we did last year, especially that opening game, was pretty impressive. So to go through a spring, go through a summer, have all our guys have been here and been in this system and understand how we get open and how we run these routes means a lot. But you have to get open, find a way to get open, play fast, and catch the ball.
So the camaraderie of a staff, a lot of you guys came from Washington State and have worked together. And I mean, I could see where, you know, that consistency can be so big. But I think about you guys, we're all competitors in everything we do. I mean, I have a brother, I want to beat him as bad as I can in ping pong. But when you look across the practice field and you see Darcel McBath over there, and you tell your guys, all right, I want to hear Darcel yell today. Do y'all chatter back and forth? I mean, is this one of those deals of, hey, let me tell you something, boys, we're coming after you today. I'm gonna make you yell today?
100%. No, and maybe not Eric as much as me and Darcel, because every day we're one-on-one, and I try to keep him quiet, which is sometimes hard because those DBs are actually pretty good.
Pretty good players.
You know, I get asked all the time, if you didn't talk on TV or talk on the radio, what would you do for a living? And I actually have a degree in turf management. I was going to build golf courses. That's I'm a golf guy, you know. So if there was no coaching, what would you guys be doing?
I know what you'd be doing. You can talk about that. You'd be in the family business, wouldn't you?
That's my dad's retired state trooper. My brothers are both police officers. So my undergrad was a criminal justice degree, and then I graduated. My brother says, "Hey, you might want to look at something else. You don't want to do this." And I said, "We could have told me that, 4 years ago. I got the degree in it now." But yeah, long line of law enforcement, and I don't know. I don't know what I would have done though. Otherwise, I maybe hang out with Spur and play some golf and go to the beach. I mean, if that's on the table, that's an option.
That pays well. We're on it. Yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything you would have done had you not been a coach, or did you always say, "I am going to be a football coach"?
I remember they asked Bob Stoops that question. I'll never forget. They said, "At what time did you know you wanted to be a football coach?" He said, "I don't remember a time in my life I didn't want to be a coach." And I thought that was a good answer. Being grown up around his father, great high school coach, all his brothers coach, and you kind of get accustomed to the environment you're in, especially if it's a pretty good one. So I was spoiled being raised as a coach's son with a father that did pretty well in the profession. So yeah, I don't know what else I would have done. I might have tried to figure out what my dad was doing, find out what that line of work was like. But yeah, very fortunate to where I am today and where I've been.
Did you want to be anything other than a coach?
You know what? I got out of college, went into sales for a year, and I made more money that first year than I did up until recent year, a few years back. You know, so I wanted to get out and make money and do all that. But I had lunch with my old head coach at one point, and he said, "Hey, you ought to come around here once in a while." So one day a week turned into 2 days a week. Next thing you know, I'm quitting a job that paid a good salary for about $1,000 for the season. So, looking back, it was probably, that was a crazy move to make, but kind of, a little hole in your heart that you weren't around football for about a year. So, worked out well.
With that, Tyson Brown, every guy that I talk to, every player, every manager, every coach has talked about Tyson Brown and his strength program. And now all of a sudden, we talked about having that time in the summer. How important is a strength staff of getting those guys ready for now training camp?
Huge, yeah, huge. That whole staff, does a fantastic job, starting with Tyson, but our guys are around them so much time in the off season that we need those guys to keep elevating our group, while we're not around them as much. And they do. Every year it's the same thing. The results are all there. Guys are putting weight on, good weight. They're getting faster. They're getting stronger, and really sport-specific stuff they worked into doing the summer program too. So they're ready to go come fall camp, and it makes our job a lot easier. Like that.
Yeah, no, that's critical. If your strength coach isn't very good, you got a bad team. Period. And what they do in the summer, and toughness, and conditioning, and accountability. But then, they do so much with speed and health and nutrition and water and sleep, and the education they have on those guys is so important. But again, if your strength coach isn't very good, you normally have a bad team. You really do.
So now you've been in Starkville now a year and a half. How has Starkville been to you guys?
Outstanding. I describe Starkville as a sneaky good place. It really is. It's people say it's small. We always talk about it's about 10 times the size of Pullman. So this is a metropolis compared to up there. But it's a good place, good people. It's a good program. We have every reason to be successful. We have a lot of support, and we're looking forward to this season.
Great eateries in town. I'll go back to my specialty. We're in one of them right now. So good restaurants, good people. Great place to raise your kids and your family. And then, just like Steve said, we're the resources that are available to us on the football side and the fan base. Couldn't ask for anything more.
I appreciate you guys doing this.
Yes, sir.
That was fun.
Good to catch up.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Like we're gonna find a way to get this done.
Yeah, he cornered me at the country club when I was like, "Hey, when are we gonna do this?"
Let's go. Find a spot.
Steve Spurrier Jr., outside receivers coach. Eric Mele, the running backs coach. We're at Moe's Barbecue here in Starkville. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate you, Spark.
Sir.
Sure.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
All right, we're out.